You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome to episode number 2 of Los Cafeteros podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada. Alongside me, tengo a Jorge. How are you doing, sir?
Hello, senor. How are we doing?
I mean, not great talking about this, but I mean, as good as it's going to get.
I'm glad I was kind of busy at the exact same time while this game was going on. But at the same time, like watching it on from the side of
Mhm.
my vision, it was a rough watch. But
It
let's just
started
say
good.
this it started very good, but it should have been a whole lot different than how it really was.
Well, to start off, we were talking last episode. Colombia is going to have home field advantage throughout the World Cup, at least the games in the United States. I don't know how it's going to be in Mexico. It's going to be like the fourth host country. I'm sorry, because that stadium, like the visual when the Himno Nacional is going on and everybody's singing and all you see is just a sea of yellow.
That's beautiful.
The support that they're gonna get, it's almost like they're hosting in Colombia. So that they have going for them. Now, once you get on the field, things are a little different. And a couple things before we get into the specifics of the game. There was a lot of talk, me included, about how they hadn't lost to a European side since February of 2011. The
Yeah, we
Spanish
mentioned
side.
that.
Yeah. I'm glad that they lost this because if they go into the World Cup, then that's the conversation that they're having in the World Cup. And then people start talking about, I'm glad, get this out of the way. Yeah, we lost to a European side. Don't make that a storyline. Just focus in on the game because going in there thinking like, oh yeah, we haven't lost to a European side, blah blah blah. Like, you know what? Maybe it's good. Just get this shit out the way. Let's not have those stupid storylines for the World Cup. We got this one out of the way, and we have a big one coming up against France.
And this is exactly what the players are saying now. It's what everything that happened. Let's just get it out of the way now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that's the one. If there's any solace that we can take from this, just like you know what, this is a friendly. This is a warm up. This is a tune up. We got a bigger test tomorrow, and this is just the only way you can go about it.
So to start the game, Mojica going up the left side, he crosses it over to Suarez, doesn't touch it. John Arias gets on the end of it. I think
Well, first off,
Suarez.
we
Go
predicted
ahead.
the starting lineup almost
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, and yeah, I think that's the World Cup starting lineup. Like what we saw,
Has to be.
it's
Has to
gonna
be.
be the starting lineup. Now the thing about Croatia is that I believe that they didn't have their starting lineup. They had a couple subs there. I mean, Luka Modric, I know, was on the bench. I'm not sure. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna lie to you and tell you I know who the heck all these itches are. Pasalic, Vucelic, all of them. I don't know who they are. So
Pasalic plays for Orlando. They're 9. Peter Musa. Shout out
oh yeah,
MLS. Look
yeah.
what we're
He
doing
had one hell
good.
of a he had a couple shots that hit off the
He had
post.
a couple shots.
Um, I know Perisic is good, and he balled out, and we'll talk about him because he dominated Daniel Munoz down that side. Um, but Luis Suarez, at least let's talk a little good. In that first goal, it was almost like a dummy, and he dragged both center backs with him as he made that run towards the ball, and that's why John Arias had that open shot. So that was the good, right? We scored quick, we scored early. I was feeling good after that first goal.
I was shocked. I was like, did we just score 2 minutes
Yeah.
in? Did we just? It was a deflection. I just went back to look at it. It was deflected. It still counts.
I mean John Arias.
Yes, like he
Yeah.
hit it, and then the one defender knocked it in. So I mean, like it still counts. But I mean, I was like, did he? He was like, okay, we scored. There's momentum. 2 minutes después.
I mean, all right. So when you watch back that goal, that first goal from Croatia, nobody is putting any pressure on the ball, and
Mhm.
James Rodriguez, as usual, doesn't defend. He was literally just watching. Who was it that scored? It was it Pasalic? They're all called Pasalic. Well, bueno, he was going into open space, and he just takes the shot, deflects off of Davinson Sanchez, goes right in. I don't want to put that on Camilo Vargas. After that deflection,
Vuskovic.
it's hard to get back and make that save. But the problem there was nobody put any type of pressure on the ball. They were just walking up the middle of the pitch, no problems. And that is a problem. The way that James was literally just watching, if you look back, I mean, I would bring up the video if it wasn't for all that copyright crap. But when you watch him just walk up and then go up and take the shot. Luis Suarez was the only one that even made an attempt to get to the ball before he took the shot. Like there needs to be some urgency. Now I get this is a friendly. We can't play like this during the World Cup
Somebody
because
clearly
there's
switched off.
well, I don't know who's supposed. I don't know if it was Luis Suarez and then he realized it and then tried to make the save at the end. But it was rough and absolutely no urgency is what it felt like at that moment. You got the feel good vibes. You score 2 minutes in, and then 3 minutes later you give up that goal, and it completely changed after that because I felt like Croatia was on the front leg basically the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, once and then, dude had a wide open net, and I think you know what, Camilo Vargas probably would have had a touch to it, probably stopped it, but I think it was like Lukumi put his foot in there, and now that is what was that deflected it in and changed the direction of it.
So the play of the game that everybody's talking about, everybody's criticizing. James with a beautiful through ball to Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz probably has a shot on goal if he wants, but he's like, no, you know what? The smart play here is I got the keeper, I got the defender. They're all on me. I see Luis Suarez there, wide open. Let me give him the touch. It's a tap in. He crosses it over. Luis
Not
Suarez.
even a tap in, just push it in. That's exactly
It was, and he completely whiffs, and it's been everywhere, And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is really bad." Like, we last episode we had the conversation of Luis Suarez, and I was like, everybody's talking high about him. He's one of the people I want to watch these two games because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yes, I guess he's doing it in Portugal, and people come through there, they play well, and they go somewhere else. But I'm not sure. And I said one of the things I want to watch for is specifically Luis Suarez. And that was a really bad moment. You cannot do that. You can't do that when you're setting up to be a starting striker for a World Cup, what you hope is a contender. And then Luis Suarez's face after he hit the battered fans logo.
Even he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it.
He hit the logo.
He pulled the logo.
Yeah, it was wild. It was so frustrating. And man, yeah, the fact that Luis Diaz was so demonstrative about it was really bad because it made it feel even worse. Because Luis Diaz just like, how did he miss that? It was a really bad scenario.
It was a clear, you know what, that one meme, viven en un country. It was literally that one. It was literally.
And I don't know.
Look, in this as the saying goes, el que no las hace, las ve hacer. That's exactly what it is. If you do not, to those who don't do them, watch others do them.
Absolutely. And it was that moment that you're glad that it happened in a friendly. You can't have that happen in a World Cup. You got to get these out of the way now. Yeah, you got to get these out of the way now. It's inexcusable. He has to make up for it. My doubts were with Luis Suarez, and I mean my doubts still remain. Like for that, like I get.
And it's not even just Suarez. Like I vividly remember I said that number 9 position is one of the most worrisome positions that I have for this team. It's been the most inconsistent because
always.
Granted, I didn't watch a lot of the second half because I was driving. I was on the road, but like even Cordova had a pretty decent shot on the right side in the second half.
And went
right. Mm-hmm. It's the exact same thing. We don't have a consistent 9. And probably our most talented 9 isn't even called up. So.
Well, that is the issue. John Duran, I thought we finally found something with him. Nothing. And Cucho, I also feel is a really good option, and he also doesn't get called up. But I do believe that this is the roster. I don't think one of those two are going to get called up unless something like this happens again against France. Then maybe they'd consider it. But
yeah, I think Cucho was out for a while, and then he just came back for Betis. So he needs to get his legs back. But I think he has a good shot, considering how inconsistent this position is. He's got a good shot of making the final roster in May.
I sure hope so.
I would hope
so. And then James, although he had a couple nice balls, I didn't think he had necessarily a great game either. I'm gonna bank on the fact that he doesn't really play much. He hasn't played much with León. He didn't play.
He hasn't.
And then he hasn't played much with Minnesota. He's basically been off for half a year. I'm hoping that that's what we saw. Again, he had a couple nice balls, but for the most part, he didn't look necessarily great. So James is a worry. He needs to start playing more with Minnesota. Luis Diaz, does what Luis Diaz does. He creates for himself and others. Daniel Munoz, we came on here, and at least I did, and I said, probably one of the best, if not the best, right back in the English Premier League. He looked bad. He looked bad. He was getting beat consistently down that side, and then there was just crosses coming into the box, dangerous crosses coming into the box from that side. Daniel Munoz looked really bad. The defensive line were getting beat with diagonal runs. Peter Musa beat them on a couple diagonal runs, free shots off the post. Miami, Colombia could have and should have lost by more than one because there was clean shots over and over again in that second half, and Colombia's defense looked really leaky.
And they also could have and should have won at the exact same time. Like this is flip a coin, whichever win prediction that you wanted to get.
I don't know. I thought Croatia looked so much better.
True, by game performance wise, Croatia looked a lot better. If that's Lucho Suarez goes in, we're talking about a completely different game. They'll both
because then they go up 2-1 and the game plays out different. But as a whole, I thought that they looked better. They were more dangerous.
Only player that actually pura salsita. That's exactly what it was. The only player that actually looked threatening was Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
And Juan Quintero when he came in.
Yeah. You know what? Would you put Quintero up on top instead of Arias?
No, I would. At least for this game, just because he hasn't look. Call me a hot take. Everybody has said it online. I would start Quintero over James for next game.
Against France?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't take James. As frustrating as James is, I still feel like he has a little bit of that magic.
I mean, you're not wrong. If he starts, fine with me. But I just feel like in the moment, Quintero, I just feel like you gotta give him a shot. Nestor Lorenzo has called up Juan too many times and not played the kid, and knowing he has a lot of quality at that type of position.
He does, and I get that's the position that he would be best played for. I would still put him on the right side. I'd put him on the right side.
I wouldn't be down.
Daniel Munoz pushes up. Daniel Munoz pushes up high enough to take over that right side, so he'd be playing like an inverted winger anywhere. I would put Juan Quintero instead of Arias. I wouldn't take out James, but everybody I thought had a subpar game from top to bottom, and then we can talk about that second goal from Croatia. Camilo Vargas. I don't know what the he was doing. Salió a cazar mariposas because I don't know what the hell.
I thought about you when that second goal came in. Because I was just like, man, if we had the taller, lankier Kevin Mier come in.
We have to give him a chance. Like we talked about it last show. Kevin Mier needs to be on this roster. Like Camilo no me convence.
Put that one dude, Alvaro Montero. He's taller enough. This is one I was like, man, we need a goalkeeper for me. A goalkeeper needs to be at least over 6'3".
How tall is Camilo?
He does. He looks like a little kid. And that's a lot coming from me.
He's 6'2".
Exactly.
He's 6'2".
But I'm just saying, like he looks small out there.
Yeah. Kevin Mier is also 6'2".
Se ven diferente, yo. I don't know. That's just me.
But I would Camilo Vargas. No me comenta. He that second goal was all on him.
Mm-hmm.
He went and he was just swinging at air. It was bad. But altogether, not a good showing by Colombia, but you want to get these out of the way during these friendlies. Yeah, you want to play well and go in there with a little momentum, and you still have a chance because you still have that game against France. So there's still a chance to show up.
Mm-hmm. You still have this, and you have one or two others at the beginning of May before they need the
beginning of June. Yeah, but at that point, the roster's already set because this is the last one before the rosters get set. Let's see.
This is World Cup preseason.
Yeah. So they have they don't even list it, but so this game you're glad you get this out of the way before they really matter. And
they have Costa Rica on May 29th.
There you go. And then you have France, which is the big one, right? France, I think if you look in totality, France to me is probably the best roster. I don't know about team, but the best roster in the world. That team is stacked from top to bottom. You have Mbappe, which some people say is the best player in the world. You have Saliba, which is some people say the best defender in the world. Like they are stacked, and everywhere in between. They have Dembele, which is just coming off winning Ballon d'Or. Like they are stacked from top to bottom. They have
I
Olise,
watched.
which keeps
Yeah,
stealing Luis Suarez, Luis Diaz's shine, and Bear. Like they have everything, everything. So this is a big matchup.
I was watching that France Brazil game just to check them out, bro. They have Mbappe on the left, Hugo Igatike down the middle, Dembele on the right, Michael Olise on right down the playing the 10. Who else? Chouameni also playing in the
Chouameni is a monster. I think
it is.
Camavinga doesn't even
Camavinga's coming
start.
off the bench.
That's why he doesn't even start. Yeah, yeah, that's a squad. Um, so that's the big match right there. Yeah, look at that. I don't even think Saliba's starting.
Mm-mm.
They have Due on the bench. They have Jetki on the bench. No, this is the best team
It's a
roster
super team.
wise. Roster wise, this is the best team in the world. So if Colombia comes out and they look good, hell, if they somehow pull off a dub, all of a sudden the perception changes after this bad showing. But they need to show up. And I think this is good. I think it's good to get smacked in the face. Anyone, a little reality check is always good for teams that kind of. Los colombianos son así. You go ahead and you have a couple of good games. All of a sudden, you start feeling yourself. They need to get brought back to earth a little bit, and I'm glad that this happened because maybe they need that reality check. And you know, we'll see. France,
Now, do you
big
think they need
matchup.
to win, or do you need to play a lot better?
You need to play better. You need to play like, let's say if Croatia, let's say they would have drawn 1-1, but they would have had those shots off the post, all those dangerous crosses in from, and those chances. Like I think Croatia could leave that game feeling good. Colombia needs something like that, where they have opportunities and they just didn't convert for whatever reason, but they look good. They look dangerous. France doesn't get a lot of open opportunities. They get opportunities, but they're challenged. You get a couple good saves from Camilo Vargas, which I don't even know if he's going to do that, but you want to look good. You want to look competitive against the best roster in the world. And that's what I'm looking for. I want to see how they look because they don't have to win. I mean, the games don't count yet. And there's probably going to be a lot of substitutions going on late in the second half. So things can change also in the scoreboard. What you want is a good performance from the starters. And that's what I'm looking forward to. But this is going to be a very interesting game because France is one hell of a team.
And I'm gonna be in the building, so it's gonna be cool to see that up in person. But like, this is the battle test that you want to have in this World Cup preseason before things actually get started. And it's a good measuring stick, because like you said, it's a reality check. Can you perform? Can you not? And can you really prove the world wrong and say that you actually have a chance to make a big run in this thing?
And what I was going to tell you, because a lot of people are coming out and saying that Argentina didn't look great.
That's what I heard. Even Scaloni said they didn't look great.
Right, and they played against Mauritania. I don't even know where Mauritania is located on a map. And they went ahead and they beat them 2-1, but they did not look good. Now, we didn't look good against Croatia, which is a top team in Europe. We're going to play against France, probably the best roster in the world. Like, we're gearing up for the World Cup. There's some teams that are playing subpar, not subpar, I don't want to insult the countries, but look, Argentina's playing against Zambia, which is ranked 91st in the world. That's their warm-up. We're like warming up legit. Like, if we can stand toe-to-toe with these big teams, we should feel better about ourselves when it comes into the World Cup.
Meanwhile, like Uruguay played against England yesterday. Like that's the way you have to do it.
Absolutely. Brazil played against France, and I think Brazil plays against Croatia in the second match. So we played against those same two teams. So France is playing against Brazil and Colombia. Like, those are the friends. I don't know what Argentina was doing. I think it's because of the finalismo that they were supposed to play against.
Yeah,
I think that's what threw off their schedule, because that's not the best way to get ready. But I'm assuming that's what it was. All right, Jorge, any final words here before we sign off?
Well, nah. I mean, I'm excited to be there. Let's see how that goes. Can a team just have a good showing and create some momentum and some faith back in the fan base and in the squad himself.
Yeah, they need to show up. They need to show up. They don't have to win, but they need to show up and play well, because I think this game against Croatia really left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. And look,
It
we're
was
only
very bitter.
81 days until the World Cup. Well, at least until Colombia's first World Cup game. So I mean, it's coming fast. So they got to get it together. All right, if you're listening on audio, appreciate you listening to the end. Please 5 stars in the comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. And we will be back after the France game to recap that and the 2 friendlies overall. So until the next one, have a good one.